Okay, hey everybody, sorry I'm a little bit late today. I did try to put a post on Facebook to let you know. I was just doing some other things and I realized that there was no way I was going to finish in time. But I'm here now, and today starts our series of Colorwork comparisons. So I'm going to start today with 2, and then next Monday we'll do 2 more. And then I don't know, is anybody interested in like how to make a sock? I'm really in the mood to make socks, and yeah, I'm thinking about making socks. Oh, wait, what's next Monday? Today is the 3rd. Oh, so next week I may not be able to post, forgot that, because I am going to go visit my family. It's been 6 months since Ina got to see my family. So we're gonna go take a trip, and I'm gonna go see a friend who does hair and get this chopped off. So if anybody knows of a good place to donate like a pretty good chunk of hair, I'm getting my hair chopped off because it's time, and it's heavy and it's getting hot here in St. Louis and I can't take it any longer. So anyway, we'll do our first series of Colorwork today, and then I'll do my next series a week from Monday, and we'll just hope that Tina can maybe pick up either Monday or Wednesday and Friday next week. And Tina will be here Friday this week as well. I don't know exactly what she's going to teach you, but she'll be here Friday. So important things to remember. Hey, Slow Yarn Crawl's going on, so make sure you have your passport. Go to thatslowcrawl.com if you're curious about what's going on. And let's see, we restocked a few little things at the store, so I have in some more of the Dreamlet shuttles and a little dab of tatting thread and things like that. And the books are on the way from Estonia, so yay, really excited about that. All right, so for those of you who have been following along with the video or have not, I really liked my last piecework. There's lots of good stuff in here. And one of the things that I found really interesting was an article about 4 different types of multicolor knitting, or stranded colorwork as I think of it. And I talked about the article and about the different ways that, you know, they did the colorwork. So today I thought I'll just go ahead and cast on and show you how to do the parallel floats and the rotated floats, because that could be fun. So we'll do that today, and then if anybody's interested, I was thinking of maybe doing a series about like how to make a sock. So, you know, finding your gauge, casting on, doing a heel, that kind of thing. Is anybody interested in maybe doing a sock series? Maybe, maybe not. I might just do it anyway because I find it fun. So anyway, let's go ahead, and if you're following along and you want to play with the parallel float and rotated float techniques for stranded colorwork, go ahead and grab some yarn. So I grabbed some fingering weight Studio Donegal Darny, lovely tweed wool, and I put I think this is a 3, yep, a US 3 needle tip on my interchangeables because I just like to use circulars. And I just cast on 20 stitches, and I knitted, purled until I had 4 rows, so to make a little stockinette base. And now let's go ahead, and I'm going to change the angle, and we will look at the difference between parallel floats and rotated floats. Here's my poor messy table. It's way too hot for me to be outside today. Way too hot. I really do like doing my videos outside, but oof, so hot today. Just couldn't handle it. Just couldn't handle it. It's very, very sunny. We may get a thunderstorm today. We'll see. All right, so what I did was made it so that I had a little stockinette swatch started. Just a little stockinette swatch. So I just cast on 20 stitches, and what I want to do is look at the difference between a parallel float and a rotated float when you're knitting, and what you would need to do. So There are different ways to do color work. You can carry one yarn in your left hand and work it continental, and one yarn in your right and work that one English style, which is fine. Or you can carry both of your yarns together over in your left hand. So maybe you're going to do it like this. And carry them both in your left hand. You can also do sort of a combination of that. Or you can do a combination of what I think of as Portunintal knitting. So it's Portuguese for one color and continental for the other. So Portunintal. Haha, I know. That was silly. But what I'm going to do, since we're just going to talk about parallel floats, is I'm going to carry both of my yarns over in my left hand, and I'll show you a little bit about that. So the important things to remember when you're doing color work are you need to make sure that your floats are not too tight, because if your floats are too tight, then your work is going to bunch up, and that's really bad because we don't want our work to bunch up and then not fit correctly. We want the floats to stay beautifully in the back and not cause problems. So one of the ways that you can do that is always make sure that you are pulling your stitches out as you move along. So every 3 or 4 stitches, you just pull your stitches out. Make sure they're spread across your needle so that you always get the float behind them. That's a good way to do that. So I am going to just lay my yarn in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and set my hand with both of my colors. And I'm just going to knit 4. So I did 4 in the green, and then I'm going to do 4 in my yellow, just like this. Now, when I do my next set, this is where you need to make a decision, and swatching is a good thing here. You need to decide if you're going to always carry your green on the top or always carry your yellow on the top, because you'll have some yarn dominance depending on which color you've chosen. You could be showing the green more strongly, or you could be showing the yellow more strongly. So that's your choice. I am going to choose to carry the green on the top, and I'm making sure that when I do this first stitch that I keep my yarn nice and loose along the back here. I want a nice loose float. Now, I mean, you don't want a big old floppy float, but you want one that's loose enough so that when you stretch that knitting out and it balances, that you aren't going to end up with a gathered or puckered spot where that color work is happening. All right, so then let's just do 4 more green. Oops, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now because I've decided that I always want my green on the top, that means that when I get to this point, I'm going to pull my yellow down a bit. That my yellow should be under. So if I'm always carrying the green on top, that means I'm going to hook my yellow from beneath my green. And again, make sure that that float is kept nice and loose in the back. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now when I get to this point, I want to make sure that when I come to the green that it's on top and it's nice and loose again across the back of that section of yellow. So stretching those stitches out makes a big difference. And I want to make sure that I'm picking that green up so that the green is on top. 3 and 4. So there we go. Now we've done our first little bit of parallel stitching, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn around and work back the way that I came. And I want to make sure that I twist my color in here at the end, because I am working a flat color work piece. So that becomes an important part of our color work journey, is that you twist that yellow in. That way it's caught on the ends and it isn't just floating in the middle. Okay, let's get a little more of that yellow, a little more of that green released. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 more of my green, and again I want to make sure that the green is on top for my color dominance. So here's my green on top, just like that. There we go. 3 and 4. And again, because I want the green to be on top, I'm just going to make sure that this one is out of the way. And then I'm going to hook underneath my green and grab my yellow. And then stretch that out and make sure that it's caught. Good. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Nice loose floats, very important. And again, because I want that green on top, remember our color dominance, I'm just going to go ahead and work just like this. And we want the yellow underneath, so I'm going to pick up both colors, kind of. There we go. Grab that one just to get started. Stretch it out. And then remember, we want the yellow to be coming from underneath the green, so we have to keep it down. Okay. And this one, of course, is where we started, so that one's going to be a little bit hinky. And then go ahead and, again, we want the green on top. So make sure the green stays to the top. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And we've made sure we have nice loose floats there in the back. That's very important. So there we are. We've done 2 rows. And you can see that the green strands float above the yellow strands because we made sure that we've always kept those green strands on top. So that right there is that parallel float technique. I'm sure if you've tried Colorwork, this is one that you've probably done. So the green strands are on top of the yellow strands. And we'll see a little bit of yarn dominance then because of that. So the green will be a little more prevalent. You won't see it too much at first, but as we go along, it'll become more prevalent. All right, so now let's consider the rotated floats. So rotated floats are cool. Same idea. You're still going to carry both of your yarns, but this time you're going to twist them around each other so that at each color change, you're going to rotate them in the same direction so that you don't end up with that color dominance. Now, the disadvantage of this is that you're wrapping the yarns around each other. So you will have to untwist either your yarns or your project at some point. And a lot of times what I do is I just hold my 2 yarns up, whatever, and I let my project, untwist next to me and just let it untwist. I know some people prefer to do the balls of yarn because you can keep both of them together with a slip knot. So you can tie a slip knot with both of the yarns around both of the balls held together, and then you can let the 2 balls unwind. But I usually just let my project unwind. It's totally up to you though. It depends on what you're doing and what you need. Okay, so let's look at the rotated floats technique. So I'll get this going. And again, I'm going to just catch my yellow down here past my green because I have a flat piece that I'm working. So I need to catch this at the end of my row so it's not just hanging out in the middle there. Okay. Go in and grab this green. There we go. And that should have caught, yes, the yellow out there at the edge. Excellent. So we're going to do 4, 2, 3, 4. And now, instead of making sure that we keep the yellow under the green, I am going to bring it up from beneath. So you can choose to either take the new yarn and go over and down, or you can take the new yarn and go under and up. It's totally up to you. All that really matters is that you go the same direction every time. So I'm always going to take my yarn from beneath the last color. So the new yarn is going to come up from beneath the last color. And make sure that I stretch that out, keep that float nice and loose. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and now my green is positioned nicely, so we'll grab it from beneath. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, the yellow's positioned nicely underneath. Uh-oh, it's a little too loose. We'll see if I can grab it. There we go. Stretch that out. Nice loose floats in the back. That one's maybe a little too loose. There we go. Fix that one. 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll do the green and grab it underneath just to be consistent. And remember, you can choose if you'd like to bring it over or bring it under. Okay. There we go. There we go. That's our first of our rotated floats. Now let's do one more row, and then we should be able to really easily see the difference between the parallel floats and the rotated floats. So again, this time I want to make sure that I'm catching my yellow at the end because, you know, I'm working a flat piece. So I just don't want my yarn to wiggle away. Nice, there we go. 1, oops, 2, 3, and 4. Here's an error. See how I have this yellow in between my 2 stitches? That would show on the front. So I'm going to pop it back out and fix that. There, that was good. It's always good to show those little errors. I wouldn't have thought to show you guys that. Now, if I were really knitting this flat, I would not be catching this yarn like this at the end. I would be doing something a little bit different, but just for demonstration purposes, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so again, I want to make sure that I'm coming from underneath. So I'm just going to throw that yellow forward and make sure that it's under my green. Make sure that we've got a nice loose float coming up. And again, I want to make sure that my green is coming from beneath my yellow. There we go. 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to do the same thing again. And you can see that you're starting to get some twist. See how my yarn's twisting up quite a bit? And that's because we are rotating those floats. Okay, rotate that forward. And make sure that my float's nice and long. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and let's see, I just want to make sure this is coming from beneath. There we go. Just going to move this out of the way. 2, 3, and 4. So there we go. And that's our rotated float. So you can see on our rotated floats where they are exchanging dominance as they go along. They're exchanging dominance as they go along because they're rotating throughout. So that right there is the difference between the parallel float and the rotated float. Now, the parallel float, you are going to see more of that yarn dominance as we talked about. So that means one of the colors and strands of yarn is going to look like it stands out more. While with the rotated floats, you're going to have more consistency in terms of the color, but you're going to be fighting this twist right here. See that twist that's built up between my 2 yarns. So a lot of times what I would do, which it's harder with this one because I'm trying to keep it into the camera, but I would just take it and let it twist. I totally didn't keep it under the camera. And just untwist, just like that. There we go. Maybe one more rotation. All right. So there we go. The keys to color work. Make sure that your floats are nice and loose, but keep your tension on your item. Decide if you want to use that parallel float or the rotated float technique, Or you might be interested in the twined binding or the woven binding, which is what we will explore. Let's see. That will be the 15th, I think June 15th. So I'm going to be gone next week. I won't be doing my videos next week, but hopefully Tina can do a couple of videos for us, maybe a Monday or a Wednesday, and then her usual Friday. And then I will be back the week after that, and we'll talk about twined binding and woven binding and the differences between those. And then maybe we'll work on making some socks, or maybe we'll do a little more tatting, or a little bit of both. And if you have questions or comments or thoughts on what you'd like to see, just let me know. I'm going to change the camera and pick it up. There we go, I'm back. And again, I'm inside because it was way too hot to be outside today. Whew, way too hot. So anyway, does anybody have questions about the color work that we were looking at today with our parallel floats or our twisted floats? No, no, very quiet out there. It's always very quiet on my videos. That's okay. All right, so a week from Monday. So what's that? What did I say, June 15th? I think June 15th. We're gonna look at the twined binding and the woven binding, and that will finish out our little look at color work. And then maybe on the 17th, we will start a little series about socks. I'm really into making socks right now. Don't know why, but I am. So maybe we can do a little bit of work with socks, and we'll look at gauge, and we'll look at fitting your feet, and we can talk about anything with socks. We can talk about lots of stuff with socks. And then after that, maybe we'll do some more tatting, because I did get that second Tatsy shuttle, so now I can demonstrate again, and I won't have to like gather all the thread up under my hand. So yay! All right, people. Tina will be here Friday to chit chat with you, and I don't know exactly what she's doing, but hopefully she'll let us know. And don't forget to check out the Slow Yarn Crawl. So that's slowcrawl.com. Make sure that you're going to Black Sheep Fiber Emporium. We are trying to get some new things in, and Tina and I have been talking about maybe making that order from Japan and bringing in some of the sashiko kits and that really awesome tatting, crochet, knitting thread that we've wanted for like a year, at least a year. But I think we're just going to go ahead and maybe bring it in, and we'll try to have it in next month for everybody, and maybe you guys will like what we brought in. We really like it. We're really excited about it, especially the thread and the sashiko kits, but there's a few other things that we want to bring in from that vendor in Japan as well. So anyway, I will see you next time. And again, I'm skipping next week, so I won't be here next Monday, Wednesday. Hopefully Tina will pick up one of those for you. But I will be back the following week. So I'll be back, what's that, what I say, the 15th and the 17th. And we'll, again, look at more color work, and we'll maybe look at some socks, and we'll have all kinds of fun. And if there's something that you would rather see, if you want me to change up my series, go ahead, send me a message, send me an email. I'll either change it or we'll add it in, because I'm happy to teach you whatever you want to learn. So anyway, stay safe, stay healthy, keep crafting, and I'll see you next time.